Hi, this is Carol from Allergy Free Living. We're going to make cornbread today, and we're going to put it in a skillet in the oven. So this is the mix that we started off with. I put the mix in already. I put 3 eggs, and then I put a cup of buttermilk in here, and I used almond milk, and I put a tablespoon and a half of white vinegar in here. And so we're going to mix this. Just 2 ingredients plus the package of cornbread. And actually, I think I'm going to use a whisk. Hold on, please. It works better with this mix. Now, I used a cast iron skillet, and they wanted me to put it in an oven at 375. Now see that? That looks good, huh? And just 2 ingredients, that wasn't difficult. Now, they wanted me to put a tablespoon of shortening in the skillet and to put the skillet in the oven so it's hot. And that's what I did. So I'm going to get it now. So this is the skillet right here. Now, I had shortening in it, and you can see, there you go. Now I'm going to, I don't want to sit down because I don't want this to splatter in my face. So right now, this is the skillet, and I'm pouring the cornbread right into the hot skillet. You can see that. Okay, now you can see this is it, and it's in here. So I'm going to put it in the oven for at 375, and it's going to cook for 20 minutes. Okay, now while that is cooking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another recipe, and it's called Parmesan rice cakes. And I pre-cooked the white rice, and now I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay. Now, in this recipe, which like all of them, I always put them on the site where the video is, and they're called Parmesan rice cakes. These are the 3 cups, and I'm going to put them in here. And they want you to just put all the ingredients. The other things that they wanted in here, okay, are the breadcrumbs, which is 3/4 of a cup. and onions, which is 1/4 cup. And these were fried. And I also, again, with different recipes, you can put whatever they want, whatever you want. This was Parmesan cheese, and let's see, that's 2/3 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. And then you can also put in 1/2 cup of chopped up ham. And then a cup of the Cabot Vermont cheddar. I used yellow again, and this is the lactose free. And then the last things were the eggs. And they call for 3 eggs. And you put this in. Now normally in a cake mix or something like that, you would typically, I would blend the eggs before I put them in. But in this, as you can see, everything is just in there, and I'm going to mix it all up. Now I'm halfway mixing it, and they said you can use salt, and for this I use the seasoned salt, and they want you to use about 1/2 teaspoon of that. And then the same thing with the pepper. Now you can use whatever salt you want. There you go, and the pepper. And then I'm going to mix it up some more. Now, sometimes if you look at it, like if you see this, I think it still needs another egg. And that's why I'm doing this, because I want you to see sometimes, obviously cake mixes and things like that, they're very precise. But this isn't. This is just something that if you want it a little bit more together, you can put another egg in. I just think that it needs to be the eggs and all, it needs to be a little bit moister. Now I have my skillet. And I'm going to turn that on with my oil. Now everyone's skillet is different, so you know you want to put it so that it's definitely, I would say about 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit less than that, but you want enough so that it's going to fry these. So All right, there it is. I want you to see what it looks like. Now, while this is heating up, what they tell you to do is they want you to take 1/4 cup of the rice. Now, let me get something to put these on. And my favorite skillet, my favorite little flipper. Now, okay. Now you take 1/4 cup. And you just pat it into a circle, like this. And again, you do the same thing with the next one. And you make it into a circle. And I'm going to put a little bit of water in this, because sometimes it sticks to your hands. Okay, so I put some of the water on my hands. And in order to make sure, a little trick to see if your oil is done, I just take a couple of the little pieces of rice and I put it in there, and it's not done, it's not bubbling yet. So I'm just going to continue to make these, put the water on my hands. Some people don't use 1/4 cup measuring. Sometimes they just use a bigger spoon, but these make them rounder. Okay. That's, the oil's getting hot. Now, I think that's good. Now, you'll hear the little, you hear the sizzle. Okay, I'm going to put them like this. Now, I'm just going to make this a little, and there we go. Now, there you go. Now, I'm just flattening them a little, see? And I'm moving it around so that the oil gets under the rice cake. Now, I put it on high, and it's starting to pop. So I'm going to lower it just a little bit, because you still want it to fry. Okay, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to put some more in here. I'm also going to get something to hold this. When the cornbread is done, I'm going to put it on a thing to hold it and let it cool off. Okay, see, it's always good to see what it looks like. Now, I just want you to see, it's golden. I just want a little bit more golden on it. Now, I'm going to get some more done. And I'm not sitting down because the oil's popping. So that's okay. You just need to see the rice cakes, not me. Now I'm getting more of these rice cakes. There you go. Now I'm going to flip these. Now they're really nice and golden. See that? How's that? That's perfect. Now, I'm just going to put a little more oil in here because you really don't want it to stick. And you move it around the oil. And sometimes the rice cakes just stay right in the same spot, and I don't want that. I want it to get under the rice cakes while they're cooking. Okay, now more water for the next batch. Now, let's look under the rice cakes and let's see what they look like. Just a little bit more, although I will check just another second, just enough to make another rice cake. Let's check these. Okay, you see that? Now, I'm putting it on a cookie rack, all right? The cookie rack is over here, so I'm just showing you what I'm using, and I typically put something under it, like paper towel or a napkin, and then I just continue to go to the next, because when I put it on the cookie rack, it ends up, the oil will just fall out and go onto the towel. Now, let's see. Before I do the next, there's some rice, already the cooked rice, and kind of what I do is I just take them out and put them in another dish, and I'll tell you why. Because if you leave that rice in and you put the new batch in, which I'm doing, and I'm adding a little more oil, if you leave that old stuff, it's going to burn, really burn. So here's the next one. All right, and I'm just putting it down. This is nice and hot. You can hear the sizzle, which again, guys, that's why I'm not going to sit down. This, like I said, it's the food you want to see. All right. Now, there it is. And get it all around. Remember, I lift up the rice cakes and move the oil all around. And then I'm gonna flatten them. Remember, just a little, just enough so that they're not so thick. This guy's thick. Now we're gonna flatten him. The same thing with him. There we go. And when I move it like that, if the rice cake doesn't move, then move it with your skillet. Important to get all of that stuff, the oil, under there. So, I'm just kind of flattening it a little more. Let's see. Okay, see that? Nice and golden. See that? Nice and golden. All right, and I mean, I know someone's going to say, yikes, there's a lot of oil that you're using in here, and I am. And that's why I put them on the rack. You can even, once they've, gotten rid of some of the oil, if you want, then you can put them on another, like a paper towel, so that it'll drain some more. So you don't have to eat it just like that. But you don't want it to burn, and the oil is what really cooks it. You can see them looking good. And the other thing, sometimes they're going to fall apart, and that's okay. That's all right. That's perfectly okay. Let's see. Nope, this is still a little light. While we're waiting for this, I'm going to take a peek at the cornbread. Okay, I'm turning this off. You saw how that's golden. Putting it on the rack. And remember, like I said, if you don't like all the oil, then you can just put it on a towel or a paper towel or a napkin or something to just get rid of all that extra oil. And here's some of the little pieces that came off. Now I'm going to go and I turned off the stove here. Now I'm going to go and get the cornbread. Now, here's the cornbread. Now, for me to check it out, I usually use this little thing and stick it in the middle. Now, nothing's come out. Or, the other thing you can do is use the thermometer, and you want to see what it comes to. Let me see what I have here. It usually wants it up to 180, and it's over that. Actually, it's over 180, so that means it's done. So there you go. This is what it looks like. Now, I know that everybody can do different things. Now, one thing that I like to do while it's sitting is I just take my stick of butter, all right? I just take it like this, and I just roll it around here, just around the top, all right? And it's going to soften it, but I turned the stove off. And what I do is, this is what I do. You can just leave it just like this. But what I typically do is put it back in the oven, even though it's off. And I give it about a minute for it to just kind of like make it golden with the butter. So that is what I do. Now let me show you. These have sat. These are. The rice cakes. There you go. And I'll get it out, the cornbread. There it is, golden. So I hope you enjoy watching the cornbread and the rice cakes. And we'll be coming back to show new things. And remember, this was not in my pantry. This is a Pamela product, but I didn't put it on the website when I made the pantry for the first video. It's really good, but like I told you, go onto your website of Pamela, and you'll see all the great products that they have. Okay, take care. Thanks.